Hey review family, keep it tight. My name is Jay Morris, reviewing music for the love of music, and welcome back to the metal Tempest. And in this video, I'm going to be covering the new Conan record entitled Evidence of Immortality. Liverpool-based band Conan have returned with one of the most punishingly paced and harshly distorted doom metal records that you're gonna hear this year. When it comes to true blue doom metal and stoner metal bands, you are going to be hard-pressed to find a more focused, well-produced, no bullshit, no filler doom metal release from any other band. I mean, straight away, the sheer feedback and staccato drums and heavy lathered distortion on the riffs of the opening track, A Cleaved Head No Longer Plots. It left me wondering, you know, this could pass as a noise metal album. This thing is so abrasive and ear-scraping. I'm a big fan of the doom metal band Primitive Man, and for those of you that know Primitive Man, you should know that they are completely uncompromising. And I found this album to rival some of their noisiest material. The vocals are perhaps my biggest complaint of this album, and it's something that I've never really liked about Conan's material in the past. Even they have their strong points, but they're certainly the least standout part of this album. John layers his vocals usually in the mix, very far back in the mix I should say, in a Melvins-esque frazzled out scream, layering with more of a resonating bass sort of growling timbre, and usually the screams and the Melvin-esque vocals sit atop the mix a bit higher. Just not the biggest fan of them personally. They're not my cup of tea, but they definitely could be yours, and they're not so distracting that it's leaving me like annoyed by this record by any stretch. I hear a lot of crappy, shitty doom metal and stoner bands that just cannot get vocals right, and even if they are playing a bit by the numbers, they're fine. The instrumentation is where this record shines, or maybe not shines. What's another way I could phrase this? Reverberates. It has a crippling quality to it. It hits you right in the chest. It is unwelcoming. There is nothing pleasurable about this listening experience. This is the type of album that you want to listen to if you want a complete oral assault, but not like in like a grindcore way, in the opposite way, in the extreme doom way. I'm just still sitting here amazed that Conan has a record that sounds this heavy and this noisy. And Lord, oh Lord, does this record have a good mix for what the band is attempting to accomplish? Every drum hit is like hellfire, and the riffs are so thick, drowned in this down-tempo dance with so much feedback and distortion layered on them. They are compressed, and oh my god, they just hit you in the head so heavily. They're like these individual lions just roaring out in unison. Plus, this bass comes through in the mix in such a dusty way. It's like a sewer-smeared type of deal. It is raw, it is filthy. Even on faster moments like the introduction of Levitation, Hoax, or the more mid-tempo riffage of Righteous Alliance, this album successfully has a way of building good momentum. And frankly, that's kinda scary, because for a record this slow-paced, building momentum is probably the last thing you would want it to do, because it is terrifying when it tries. And like I said, even if the vocals aren't really a standout by doom and stoner standards, they at least know to keep them far back in the mix, so they are more so used as an extra instrument and not this massive thing with a lot of clarity to it that dominates the mix. I would say the vocals are extremely forgettable, and I'm fine with that, because the response that your body has to music that is this just angrily slow-paced and a slow burner, you just forget all about vocals. And to add to one point I made earlier, influences play a good role across this album as well. Fans of stoner music will be very happy to know that it is once again a major focal point in their sound, and I would also say desert rock plays a massive role in the influence of this album as well in the riff department. Specifically, key parts of Equilibrium of Mankind can showcase this, where the desert rock riffs and the sludgy stoner influence comes out of the woodwork in the tempo department. I mean, hell, the grisly guitar tone and the sheer feedback combined with it just is undeniably stoner. It's an impolite record. It's severely wounding, and even if the lyrics are a bit one note and sort of sparingly leave some sort of impact and the vocals don't resonate with it as much as I would like, I know it's going to be more up other people's alleys for the vocals than mine, because I personally like my doom metal to have more defined vocals. I really found myself enjoying the instrumentation of this album. It is a harshly heavy, abrasive doom metal release with a ton of desert rock and stoner influence that has just one of the crispest mixes from one of these albums that every time I listen to it, I just leave with an earache. And that's exactly what I want with this type of record, so I have nothing to complain about in that way. And yeah, I suggest this to fans of Primitive Man. That is the first band that comes to mind, and probably the best comparison. Just not the same death metal growls. It's more so stoner influenced, more so Melvins influenced. Yeah, I just found myself coming away very satisfied with this record. Even though I do have some complaints with it, they are not distracting enough to not make me want to just return to this record over and over and over for how punishing it is. Overall, I'm going to be giving this album an 8 out of 10. And that is a wrap. Have you heard this new Conan record, Evidence of Immortality? If you have, let me know in the comment section below what you thought about it. I would love to discuss this record with you. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to join the review family today, and smash that notification bell to be notified of my future uploads. You know who it is, my name is Jay Morris, and I'm signing off saying,